Hello everyone, it's Laura from Divine Light Yoga. Today I'm talking about how you can create and use a calm kit with children and perhaps teens also, whether you want to use it at home, in your family setting, in one-on-one sessions, therapy sessions, in your kids yoga class, or any class that you might be teaching children, whether it's karate or French class. Or in your classroom if you have a large group and you want to use it in your classroom or special events or workshops. The Calm Kit is essentially a kit to help children to feel quiet, calm, relaxed, to help them feel focused, to support them with their concentration skills. And it will help them to instantly release anxiety, overwhelm, frustration, or anger. So it's a good all-rounder. It is essentially a kit or a box that contains objects that will support children in releasing anxiety and overwhelm and helping them to feel more focused and calm. And as I mentioned, it's great for all different age groups and in any kind of setting, whether you're using it one-on-one, in small groups, with your family, or really large groups as well. So I like to call it a calm kit, but you can really call it whatever you like. It could be a mindfulness kit, your concentration kit, your Zen kit, or you can ask the children to come up with their own creative name. I'm sure you'll find that they will create an interesting name for the kit themselves, but I like to call it my calm kit. So I'm going to talk about 5 different objects that you can place in your calm kit to get it going. But of course, there are many, many different variations in which you can add different objects into your kit. So first of all, obviously, you need a box or some sort of bag, ideally a box, to place your objects in. And the way in which it works, it's very kind of Montessori style, in which the children would each take one object from the calm kit and spend a couple of moments exploring it, using it, concentrating and focusing on it. And when they finish with it, they put the object back in the box, and then they choose a different object. So very much working independently, exploring, as I mentioned, very Montessori style, in which they take something, they use it, they explore it, and then they place it back before they choose something else. I'd also like to encourage you to use natural objects where possible. Sometimes that's not always possible, but again, coming from that kind of Montessori, Reggio Emilia background, I love to make sure that the objects that we use are natural, because nature does have a very soothing, grounding effect on children. So what kind of things can you put in your calm kit? So first of all, I've got my glitter jar here. Also, sometimes people call it a mindfulness jar. And it's literally a glass jar with water and glitter in it. And they shake it up and they can watch the glitter settle. So it helps them to stay focused, helps them to really just concentrate on the glitter jar, keeps them engaged. It's great for all different age groups from 2 years old to teens. And it's also a great representation of their mind or their brain when they are feeling overwhelmed or frustrated. You know, it represents that when we shake it up, like when our brain feels overwhelmed, it feels like it's being shaken up and everything's all messy and chaotic and blurry. But if they stay focused and they take a couple of deep breaths, eventually it starts to settle. And so you'll see here that even though the majority of the glitter is settled, they still have to wait a few moments, even like a minute, before all of the glitter settles, before they shake it up again. So it is like a mini meditation. It's definitely a concentration activity, which will allow them to stay focused for a minute or maybe 2 minutes. And I would suggest that if you're using this with larger groups, so whether you're using it in your kids yoga class or your classroom setting, that you do have like 3 to 5 of each of these objects. The second object that I'm going to talk about is these squishy squishy balls like this, stress balls, so not natural, as you can see. You can pick these up in a toy store. You could make your own using balloons and just packing some flour or baking soda inside the balloon, tying it up, and then they can squish it. A deflated balloon, obviously, otherwise you're going to end up with flour or baking soda all over your face. Or you can get objects like this, yeah, in a toy store or even a pet store, and they just literally hold it and they squish it, and they can close their eyes and stay focused. And this is really great for children that are feeling frustrated or anxious. So this movement helps them to release the anxiety. The third object that I have here, well, we've got essential oils. So I love to use essential oils. They're super soothing. So either using them like this, so we've got the roller ball in which they can just smell it. For older children, or for those children that you have permission to use oils with, they can even roll it onto their wrist, but really just encouraging them to smell it. So encouraging them to take a deeper breath in and that exhale out through the mouth. So that's sighing, cleansing, releasing breath. I actually have a box of these, so they can, the one child can take the whole box, and then they can pull out the 5 different oils and smell each one and notice how it makes them feel. So just encouraging that deeper breath. If you don't want to use essential oils, so if you're working with younger children, you're a bit concerned that the oils will end up everywhere and that it's not safe to put it on their skin. Another way in which you can use the scents, the smells, the sense of a smell, is using dried flowers or dried herbs. So here I have a mixture of sage, mint, rose, and lavender. So it smells absolutely delicious. Again, it is encouraging that deeper breath, but it is a natural object. So it will help the children to feel grounded and naturally soothed. And then they can smell it, take that deep breath in, and just explore this object. So there are 2 different ways in which you can use the sense of smell, is with the essential oils or with the dried flowers or dried herbs. And then also I have some crystals. If you don't have access to crystals, then you can use pebbles or stones. And you can perhaps put maybe 5 pebbles or 5 crystals into a small bag. And they can use these, either they can lie down and place the pebble onto their belly or their heart and focus on breathing. They can use the pebbles or the crystals to do the pebble meditation. If you're not familiar with the pebble meditation, head over to my website, and there is on one of the blogs, there's written down the pebble meditation, which is really easy to use. And essentially they are mindfully and patiently stacking the pebbles, 5 pebbles on top of each other until they come into a tower. And again, it's just naturally soothing. So they might even just hold the crystals or the pebbles and close their eyes and just feel grounded, holding on to them. Or they may even use it as a mindful moment where they just explore how it feels, how it looks, how it smells. This one is really great for working with children with special needs as well. I mean, they all are, to be honest. The sense of smell, the squishy balls are actually all great for working with children with ADHD, with autism, with sensory processing disorder. But this, they can use the crystal or the pebble just to explore it and have an observational, mindful moment with it. And then the 5th and final thing I would suggest is putting some printable, mindful fun sheets in there. So you can grab hold of my Healthy Mindset Fun Pack, and that includes 21 printable fun sheets. And each fun sheet is focused on a different emotion. Actually, I can show it you here. So this is just one aspect of it. But you can see here that it has a mantra, it has an activity. It's super easy, especially for the 7 to 11-year-olds. It's very self-explanatory of what they need to do. So it's combating different emotions that they might be feeling. Includes things like EFT, which is really great for calming the children, really great for the Calm Kit. You know, they can draw or write. So I would be putting these printable mindful fun sheets into the box with some pens and paper, and perhaps even just choosing you know, 3 or 4 each week to go into different ones to go in there, and then they can choose what do they really want to work on today. Is it that they want to work on some self-love? Are they feeling lonely? Do they want to work with some self-doubt? Are they feeling anxious? So the mindful fun sheet is really all about supporting the children to explore emotions and overcome challenging experiences in a playful way. And you will be there to support them, but they're really doing it independently. So that's just 5 objects that you can place into your Calm kit. Of course, I have many, many more ideas, and I would love to hear what your ideas are. So please do comment below this video and let me know what you intend to put into your Calm kit. And just to recap, you can use this with any size group from 1-to-1 to large groups. You can use it with younger children from 2 and 3 years old to teens. You would just place the box in the middle of the circle. If you're working one-on-one, just give it to the child and then just take one object out at a time. I would suggest that you give them a time frame, so telling the children we're going to use our Calm kit now for the next 8 minutes, and they know that they just take one object, they explore it. If they finish with it, they put it back, and then they can choose another one within that 8-minute time frame. You can use it at the beginning of your classes when the children are getting settled, especially if they're coming in with some anxiety or frustration or hyperactivity. Or you could use it at the end of your class as a way to get the children to start to calm down, to wind down, preparing them for meditation, if that's what you're doing in your class, preparing them for relaxation or story time if you're using it in a regular classroom, or if you're using it with children who are really struggling with meditation and relaxation. So for example, for children who do have ADHD, using the Calm kit would be their meditation time. So rather than trying to, you know, fight with them and push them into doing a typical meditation or relaxation in which they lie down in Shavasana, they will have 5 minutes with the Calm kit, and that is their meditation time. So there's many different ways in which you can use it with all the different age groups, the different size groups, and of course there's different objects that you can place in there. But I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm just going to give you those 5 ideas. So just to recap, you got a glitter jar or some glitter jars, the squishy balls, essential oils, or if you don't want to use oils, you can use dried flowers, crystals or pebbles to stack on top of each other or to place on their heart or their belly to breathe or to use for a mindful moment. They can just observe and feel. And then finally, my mindfulness fun sheets, which you can grab hold of through the link above. All right, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to comment and let me know how you are going to use your Calm kit with the children in your life. And goodbye.